What's up, average dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and this one is completely different. There will be no phone reviews or tech products. This video is all about cage fighting. Yeah, kind of all about cage fighting. Really, it's specifically about one fight, one incident, and the reaction from absolute numbskulls that know nothing of combat sports. So, as some background to why I'm making this video and why I care. I have been a fan of the Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC, since I first started watching at UFC roughly 37, about 15 to 20 years ago. I absolutely love the sport, everything about it. I admire the dedication, the work ethic, just the sheer balls to get into a cage with another man that wants to rip your head off. Recently, when we finally had a British UFC heavyweight champion, and Tom Aspinall isn't just a British UFC champion, he is arguably one of the best heavyweights that's ever existed in the UFC. At the weekend, Tom Aspinall was defending his heavyweight title against Cyril Gane. Which, by the way, was making this Cyril Gane's fourth attempt at a UFC belt, one of which, I guess you could say, won against Derek Lewis, if you like. But anyway, Cyril Gane is absolutely, without a doubt, a strong contender. But in my opinion, he's not championship caliber. He is just a result of the fact that, other than Tom Aspinall, there's nobody really in the heavyweight division that anyone's excited about. So, Cyril, step on up. So the fight starts, Tom dominating the cage, controlling the Octagon, which is one of the main points of winning a round, is Octagon control. Tom is finding his range. As soon as he gets close to Cyril Gane, Gane gets in the back foot, does a little run every single time, which again is absolutely fine. You don't want to get in a firefight with Tom Aspinall, particularly when he's at his strongest and healthiest in the first round. As the fight progressed, both were landing some jabs, a few leg kicks, a couple of body kicks from Tom Aspinall. But in fairness to Cyril, he did manage to connect with one on the nose and burst Tom's nose. But a burst nose in cage fighting is like a woman breaking a nail. It's inevitably going to happen, and it doesn't cause any pain whatsoever. However, 4.5 minutes into the first round, Cyril Gane decided that Tom Aspinall's head reminded him of a bowling ball. So he got his two fingers and shoved them straight in, not one eye, both eyes. And as soon as it happened, Tom kind of winced, as he fucking would, and covered up. The referee came over, if it was an eye poke, the doctor came in, checked it, said that his eye socket was okay, as if he would know that at the time. As he's not an ophthalmologist, he's just a typical doctor. He doesn't know eye care. But anyway, Tom Aspinall, keep in mind, the heavyweight champion of the world, aka the baddest man on the planet, said, I can't see. Not just out of one eye, but both eyes. So a few minutes go by and they decide to stop the fight, call it a no contest. That's my first bone of contention. At what point is it a disqualification? Keeping in mind what I didn't mention, twice already in the first round, Cyril Gane was warned by the referee for having his fingers out. In a fight, you have your fists closed unless you're grappling. You do need grip. You do need your hands when you're on the ground grappling. You do not need to extend your fingers like this, a la John Jones. But Cyril did, and he was warned. So if you've been given 2 warnings by the referee, and then the third time you do it, 2 fingers go into your opponent's eyeballs, resulting in the fight being stopped. On what fucking green earth is that not a disqualification? And the reason I'm so annoyed about that is because it's ruled as a no contest. So, inevitably, the crowd boo. Because this fight is in Abu Dhabi. Meaning people have spent thousands of pounds, dollars or euros to travel there and watch this fight. If I was there, I would be pissed off. But not at Tom Aspinall. And somehow That was the rhetoric. The story was Tom Aspinall quit. He decided not to continue. Here's Dana White saying exactly that.
Tom didn't want to continue in the fight, so.
In this press conference, Dana White says Tom Aspinall just chose not to continue. Here is the eye poke, right here. Here is the eye poke. It was not in Tom's choice or decision making to keep fighting. The man could not see. And that wasn't all like it was a bit bloody. He had it was all black. In his left eye, or right eye, he could not see a single thing. Anyway, so the press conference goes on, and here's the key part. Dana White, as you'll hear now, spelt it all out for us. Why he's saying that it was Tom's choice.
It's unfortunate that it ended the way that it did. And yes, I think that there probably will be a lot more interest in the rematch after they saw, he had Tom bloodied up. And, Tom didn't want to continue in the fight. So the rematch is very interesting.
Did you hear it? Dana White, the UFC president and promoter of fights, has said clearly, the rematch is going to be so exciting now because it was a close, good fight up until the eye poke, or up until Tom decided to quit. Dana, this is shameful and embarrassing. You, sir, are an absolute disgrace, and you deserve to be removed from your position if this is how you're going to react to fighters that don't fall in line. Because again, a bit of backstory, Tom Aspinall doesn't want to fight in a cage for all his life. Tom Aspinall actually started as a boxer, and he wants to go back to boxing at some time. He raised this with the UFC, and of course, Big Boss Dana doesn't like it. Just like a few years ago when Francis Ngannou, at the time the UFC champion and baddest man on the planet, said, I would also like to try boxing because it's something I'd like to do and I'm going to get paid 10x what the UFC pay me. Well, Ngannou was removed from the UFC, stripped of his belt and never allowed back. So you watch this space. Tom Aspinall will be treated the same by big bad bald Dana White. You can mark my words on that. So Dana's whole plan behind this, as soon as the fight was stopped, right, we're going to make it seem like Gan had a real chance, which, listen, he probably did. It wasn't as one-sided as some people thought it was going to be before. And do you know how they presented Tom Aspinall with the heavyweight belt? At a post-fight press conference without Tom Aspinall there on a fight night card, which like 8 people watched. Yeah. The disrespect levels from Dana White and the UFC towards Tom have been apparent, and this was just all they were looking for. And it's super, super disappointing. But not more disappointing than social media. I want to talk about the numbskulls. Like this gentleman here, talking about how Tom was looking for a way out and he quit. And yeah, he was poked in the eye, but I mean, it didn't look that bad, and it probably isn't that bad, is it? Sir, come here and let me poke you in the eyes, and we'll see if it was that bad. And also, while we're at it, why does your video look like I've been poked in the eyes already? Because it looks like you filmed it on a potato, sir. Anyway, I'll move on from you. You weren't the only one. So many people online saying that Tom was just looking to quit. Tom's own YouTube channel, which chronicles in video format everything about before, during and after the fight. They were in the hospital till 4 a.m. with ophthalmologists, specialists, surgeons looking at his eye, not just one eye but both eyes. So it's clear as daylight to see, and hopefully soon Tom Aspinall will be able to see again. Tom wasn't looking for a way out. Dana's plan is to make the rematch bigger than ever. But do you know what really worries me? Tom might not bother. Tom might decide the level of disrespect the UFC have shown him over the past year or two, the fact that he is the heavyweight division, without him there's nothing, he might just move on to boxing. And for me, who's already lost out on Francis Ngannou fights because of Dana White's ego. I'm going to be really upset if this happens with Tom Aspinall. And for all you people that have shamed Tom Aspinall when you were watching the fight, I please implore you to watch Tom Aspinall's video of him in the hospital and look at his eyes. Then apologise to Tom, because would you say anything like I've seen on social media to his face? No, you wouldn't. So that's it. I needed to get that down in video because I have a platform, and I think it's absolutely disgusting how some people can talk to people, especially the baddest man on the planet. So there we have it. A completely different change of pace from my usual content. I will be back tomorrow with the full review of the Oppo X9 Pro global version. Until next time,